I'm not talking about this controller collection. I'm talking about this controller collection. Welcome back everyone to another video, and today we'll be talking about my Clutch controller collection. Well, I guess I'm Clutch, so saying my Clutch would make... Anyway, welcome to my controller collection. Starting things off with the NES controller, the NES controller. This is what I got started with back in the day. Now, even though I'm 31, I was born in 1994, I first started playing games on the NES. I was playing Zelda, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. There was a lot of Mario games in there. But this controller is definitely one for the ages. Of course, now playing NSO and trying to use this controller, it's a little bit difficult. My hands are way too big for it, but this is a classic controller to get and have for my controller collection. Next, we have my favorite controller from my favorite system, the Nintendo 64, and of course, you have to go and take off that little rubber grip there because if you know, you know. For pedal power and that paddle game from Mario Party, it was just, it was a hand destroyer, a blister giver even. But the N64 controller was pretty peak for the time. It was, at least in my opinion, a very comfortable grip, and it just felt like all the buttons were meant to be where they're meant to be. And now this brings me to the Nintendo GameCube controller. Now right off the bat, this is the Wavebird style, which I feel most people like this style better, at least I did. It's not the traditional controller as the bottom wasn't as thick, but even so, this introduced us to, at least for Nintendo, the two joysticks, unless I'm missing a different controller for Nintendo prior, correct me if I'm wrong. I like the button layout on this one as well. It's very comfortable, especially when playing Melee and Double Dash and pretty much any GameCube game. And now we have the Wii Remote. This was kind of revolutionary for gameplay, broke free from the wires, and made you get up. Very cool. You might even want to go ahead and call it a gold stand. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna make a joke about my gold Zelda controller that I have here. That's right, I have it. It's in my controller collection, and this thing is beautiful. I got the stand from Etsy. The Wii Motion Plus controllers, I used to have a Luigi one. I think I had a Peach one at some point. I wanted to go and collect the others, but they were just too expensive, so I just wound up selling the Luigi and the Peach one. Alright, now we're on to the Switch controllers, the Switch Joy-Con. I have a lot of these things. I used to have more. I sold them, and I kind of don't really miss like the basic ones. It was like, you know, like green pastel and like purple pastel, but I have like these cool ones here. And fun fact, I got these last year in 2024 and like I'm pretty sure July. I haven't charged them once, and they still just work. They're actually connected to my Switch somehow, so they're going to be lit up for the rest of this segment here. Now these guys I got from Encore. They're new and sealed. These are the legit ones. And naturally they're going to be for the Zelf, and they are beautiful. I once again probably have way too much B-roll of just these. And these next controllers are going to be pawn shop pickups. And okay, well actually the Zelda one's from Amazon, but the Super Mario Bros. 3 one and the Bowser one are both from the pawn shop. They're both new and sealed, much like the Zelda one. And they were such a good deal. I'm like, how do I say no to them? You know, it's kind of like Pokemon, but for controllers, gotta catch them all. Only in this case, gotta collect them all. That's kind of how I feel with the Zelda ones. There's just way too many Zelda controllers out there. But moving on to the Switch Pro controllers, which are what the three of those are. This clear one here was actually from the Facebook Marketplace pickup. The same one I got the Let's Go Pikachu Switch edition. I also have the regular black Switch controller, the Pro controller. And naturally, since the Switch 2 is going to be coming out next week, I actually pre-ordered the Switch 2 Pro controller, or however that's pronounced. And you might be thinking, Clutch, didn't you mention last time how you don't really play your Switch games, you just collect them? Yes, that is true. I'm looking at new Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't know. I just like the way they look on my shelf and as part of the collection. And it doesn't end at Switch. We actually have a collection of Xbox controllers. Now, I did stop myself before going crazy overboard with them, but let's go ahead and take a look. This is the wireless Xbox One controller. I got this, I was like, okay, I need a new controller when I played DBD, Dead by Daylight, on my computer, which led me to the next controller. And you might be thinking, oh, okay, you kept the box. No, I have two. It was a good deal. One's still new and sealed, and the other one I use for computer gaming if I'm not using mouse and keyboard. Because sometimes it's just more comfortable and just actually easier for controls. Primary example would be Hitman. It's just easier using a controller than it is mouse and keyboard. This has been my controller collection. Let me know your favorite controller down below, if it's one from the video or one from your own personal collection. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. I'll be making more videos like this in the future, and I appreciate you watching today's video. Hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day, and I'll see you for the next one. Later.